Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Allison from Youcook. Thank you for visiting my channel. Today I would like to take you back to Hoi An, a Quang Nam Province in Vietnam. Today's recipe is called Mì Quang. It is one of the most authentic and well-known dishes in the city of Hoi An. The two ingredients that separated this recipe from other Vietnamese noodles are peanut and toasted sesame rice paper. The toasted sesame rice paper can also be prepared at home if you cannot find it at any Asian grocery market. Banana blossom. I bet you haven't seen something like this, but it is often used in this recipe as a vegetables, but I can't find it in any Asian grocery market, so I'm going to use celery as a replacement. Peel the celery as thin as you can, just like that. Requires a lot of preparation, so if you have time on the weekend, this recipe is perfect for you. I'm using about 3 pounds of pork sparerib crosscut, 2 trays. Next is pork bellies. I'm actually using about 4 pounds of pork bellies. I'm using about 1.5 pounds of pork neck bone. If you don't like pork neck bone, you can also use chicken bone. Then I'm gonna cut up my spare ribs and pork bellies into about 1 inch in length and 1/2 inch in width and blanch the meat. This is my blanching process. Add enough water to cover the meat. Add a teaspoon of salt, a teaspoon of vinegar or 2 teaspoons of vinegar. Bring the water to boil. You notice the meat when I added vinegar, the meat is very clean, nice and white. Boil for a good 15 minutes to remove all the blood and impurities. Drain the water, rinse the meat again, and then set it aside. Now, prepare a new pot with water and bring it to boil again. Now, I'm going to add in half a loaf of pork spare ribs and pork bellies that I had blanched earlier, along with the neck bone in the pot. I went ahead and removed the skin and the fatty layer from the pork bellies for a healthier diet. If you don't really care much about the fat and the skin, leave it as it is and toss them into the pot. Use 2 large sizes of red onion, cut it into quarters, and then throw them into the pot as well. Notice my spare ribs are very nice and clean and white. That results from adding vinegar when blanching my meat. The pot I'm using is a 10 quarts pot, so I added in 1 tablespoon of salt. Fill the water up to the top and bring it to boil, then turn it down to about medium to low and cook for 2 hours. This is a very colorful dish, so I usually prepare my annatto oil at home in advance. I use the annatto oil to add more color to my soup base. For those of you who just found my channel today, please like, share, and subscribe. And your continuing support means a lot to me. Thank you. Next, I'm gonna go ahead and prepare my vegetables, and they are bean sprouts, cilantro, green onion, lettuce, mint, and celery. Don't forget to wash all your vegetables before you chop them into small pieces. Green onion, cilantro go together. Lettuce, chop them in small chunks. Bean sprout and mint, wash them and leave them aside. For celery, I'm using it to replace banana blossom, and I'm using a peeler to peel it as thin as I can. Next step is the toasted sesame rice paper. I couldn't find it at the Asian market during this time, so I prepare my own. It's very simple. Whisk 1 egg, add 1 teaspoon of sesame seed, then dip the rice paper into the mixture and then lightly deep fry it. It's very crunchy and tasty. This is so simple to prepare. You can actually prepare it as a snack. It's very tasty and easy to eat. The rice paper is so thin, and when you lightly deep fry it, it's so crunchy and it lasts for 24 hours. I know what you're thinking. You probably telling yourself that this recipe is way too difficult, it's too many ingredients. Really, it's not that bad, you guys. It is on the oily side, so you may want to put it or let it drain on a piece of paper towel. I prepared this the night before, so it wasn't so bad. Hey guys, we're almost done now. I'm just going to prepare my meat. Before doing so, I am mincing up 1/4 size of red onion and 10 cloves of garlic before I prepare my meat. Then I added in 1 teaspoon of salt and 2 teaspoons of light brown sugar. Give it a mix again, and I'm done with my minced herbs. Next, I'm going to prepare my meat. 21 to 25 shrimp per pound. I'm using 1 pound of shrimp. For this recipe, the original mee Quang requires the shell to be on, but it's up to you. If you don't like it, you can just take off the shell. I leave it on so I can take a photo to show you the originality of this recipe. Okay, here we go. Heat is high. 1 tablespoon of cooking oil going in. Add 2 tablespoons of minced garlic and red onion. We're going to cook the shrimp. It needs to be well done. Set aside, and then do the same thing with the spare ribs and pork bellies. My minced garlic and red onion already had salt and sugar, so I don't need to add any salt and sugar here. Once my spare rib and pork bellies are done, I am going to toss these meat into my soup base. Also, when I cooked my meat, shrimp, and spare rib and pork bellies, I also added 2 tablespoons of annatto oil, which I forgot to record and show you, but it adds more color to my soup base. Also add in 2 tablespoons of white rock sugar. I also added 1 cup of daikon. That's optional. I happen to have extra one, so I threw them in a pot as well. Okay, we're almost done. For this recipe, I'm using Shanxi slide noodles as my turmeric noodles for this recipe. This recipe, the noodles must appear yellow, and I added 1 to 2 teaspoons of turmeric powder when I cook Shanxi slide noodles, and they turn out beautifully. I'm very happy with the color. I'm very happy with the texture of this particular noodle. It's very crunchy and chewy. It's just perfect. This recipe is done. Thank you so much for your patience, and thank you so much for staying throughout this video. To plate this recipe, mee Quang, first add in noodles, add in your meat, add in your shrimp, add in quail eggs, vegetables, and toasted sesame rice paper. Add in fish sauce. If you don't know how to prepare fish sauce, I will put a link in the description below. You can refer to that, and I also put down the direction in the description below how to prepare fish sauce. For this recipe, this is not like pho. You only need to add soup base about 1/3 to 1/2 only. Ladies and gentlemen, my mee Quang recipe is done. I hope you enjoy watching my video. Hope you give it a try and let me know how it goes in the comment below. It's not that difficult. It takes preparation, so if you can prepare all the ingredients ahead of time, this should be fairly easy. Thanks again. Bye now. Please enjoy. Xin mời.